So I decided to go to the Women's Pregnancy Center because I thought I was pregnant. Well, I knew I was pregnant, but just kind of in denial about it. I knew that they offered free pregnancy testing and an ultrasound along with that. So that's why I decided to come, and that's where I met Miss Fran. When I first came into the center, honestly, I was thinking about having an abortion. I had had one previously, and I knew the emotional toll that it would take if I had another one.
So I know since you had just mentioned that abortion was still on the table, we offered you an ultrasound that we could do that very day.
Yes, and that made it real. I actually saw that I was physically pregnant, and I broke down because I was just in shock from
reality.
Just reality. It was a reality check. And you gave me a hug, and you let me know that the Women's Pregnancy Center would be here for me. And
we were going to be there. I think I told you we'd go through, no matter what your decision, we would go through it together.
And even at that point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep the baby or not because of my situation.
Right. Well, I know it was a real struggle for you because you were in an abusive relationship. You had a 5-month-old. You had 3 other children that were a little bit older, and you felt stuck, like you said.
In abusive relationships, they're really hard to get out of. People don't realize it's just not I'm gonna pack my bags one day and we're gonna leave and everything's gonna be fine. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength. Soon after, I found the strength to leave the abusive relationship. Along with him leaving, he took his belongings as well, which was, a bed, a TV. One of his friends gave us a crib, had the friend come and take the crib. So I was pregnant, sleeping on the couch, and I reached out to Miss Fran because, like she said, she told me she would be there for me, and if I needed anything to contact her.
So my husband and I brought the donated beds to your house, and you greeted me with, Miss Fran, I've decided to parent. What made you change your mind?
It honestly was the beds. Something so simple as a bed. You and your husband coming and setting it up while I was in the middle of cooking dinner. My kids were running in and outside, and I just knew that, okay, somebody's got my back. Somebody's looking out for me.
So you know, Felicia, that God cares about the details, and you needed a bed, and He provided beds for you.
Yes, He did, and much more. He provided me with strength. He provided me with joy. He provided me with so much
courage.
Courage. A lot of courage. It was like a turning point after those beds came. I don't know what you put in those beds, but after those beds came, I ended up finding a full-time job at the health department. I ended up going back to school. I ended up obtaining my LPN license.
And you started going back to church?
I did. I actually live right next door to my church, and I literally can walk to church, walk to Bible study, so it's really good.
So you wanted to get closer to God, and He physically put you closer to Him.
He physically moved me to Him. He needed me. I needed to be right there with Him.
It was by God's sovereign hand that you showed up at the Women's Pregnancy Center that day, and then one step led to another, which led to another.
Yep, just like dominoes.
Yes, it was. At the time, it was a little bit foggy. We didn't see things clearly, but now we can look back on it and see His hand throughout all of it.
One thing about my story is that this can happen to anybody. My situation could be like many others.
It's one day at a time. It's one step of obedience, you take a step of faith.
Well, a jump of faith in my situation. And the thing about it, I'm not finished yet.
No.
It's so much that's gonna come from this situation.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
And it's your story.
Yeah, it's my testimony.
It is a testimony.
Yeah. And that's what's so amazing about God, that He's not finished. He brought me through all of those things, and I'm still here to tell my story.